pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is not going to be in the meeting, but I was. Did I give you one? This just shows where we are today. Okay. Roll call.
Steve?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Susan?
Here.
Greg?
I'm gonna change my name to Steve. Just for fun.
Okay, old business. First on the agenda is presentation of the minutes of last month's meetings. There was more than one. There was a work session, and that was on the 3rd. Did you guys get a chance to look at these and read over them and approve?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Can I have a motion
Make
to
a
approve
motion.
all the minutes at once?
Make a motion to approve all the minutes presented here.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Next is finance. Did anybody look this over?
Yep.
Now, we got this, these minutes, or these, notes on Thursday, so everybody had a chance to look over everything. Anybody have any questions about any of the finance?
As of June 30th, we had $711,213. In the asset category, we had total expense of $63,034. We had income of 103 against 63, which leaves us with a net of $40,299. The water fund and sewer fund, that's consistently virtually the same. We ended up with a total liabilities and equity of $13 million.
Does that include, phase 3 in there now?
No, not yet.
Now,
Okay.
this is 630. Net income for the month of June was $45,000.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the finances?
Make a motion to approve. I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And on to police report.
In the month of June, the Sunrise Beach Police Department had 96 calls, 386 self-initiated activities, issued 25 citations, 26 warnings, had 7 felonies, 6 misdemeanors. The 2020 Dodge Charger was purchased from Missouri Highway Patrol. We have the graphics installed, but still waiting on other equipment to arrive and be installed. As of this morning, the Dodge Charger will not start. There's something electrical going on with the key fobs. It's not recognizing them. I contacted Highway Patrol. Highway Patrol is going to come pick it up from us, take it back, fix it, no charge, and then bring it back to us. Rick Bryant contacted me regarding the 2014 Expedition. It's not sold for what he initially hoped to sell it for. Rick is asking that we lower the price from $8,800 to $6,000, adding that he would waive his fee. First off on this is I told Bryant that this vehicle needed to be auctioned as a part of the LESO program. We can't ask an outright price for it. So I'm asking the board's input on if they feel it would be better to keep it as a city vehicle for a potential city planner to drive the city streets and use as a backup for public works, or if they would like it to be auctioned.
My opinion is to keep it here, and, I don't want to lower it $2,800 right off the bat just because he doesn't think
How
it's
many miles are
150,000-ish, round in there.
2014.
It's a 2014. It's starting to have cam issues to where the cams are going to need to have blocks put in place, which will be about 750, but it doesn't need anything in the near future.
Would it be good backup?
As a patrol car,
Yeah. No.
if I had the equipment to put in it, but it would be a good vehicle for a city planner to have a city vehicle to run the roads versus if you get a city planner that has a small sedan that some of the places are harder to get to.
We are in the process of getting someone in here, so I think that it would be a good idea to hang on to it.
$150,000, keep it.
I mean, he says 6,000, what if it goes for 4,000 or 5,000? Then, you know, we might as well just use it.
Scott, was this a police car?
It was.
How many miles did the department go?
We had it for 2 years.
But just usually that's pretty heavy use.
And it was a patrol vehicle before we got it. So it was a K9 vehicle before we got it. So all the miles on it are patrol based miles. So when you hear 150, I tell people think as police vehicles is dog years. For every 1 mile you have on a police vehicle is the equivalent of 5 to 7 on a personal vehicle.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you all understand what you're.
They do a lot of idling and not so nice driving.
Well, and we did have a discussion about there are several things around here that we could possibly put together an online auction to get rid of, because, I mean, you just rambled off 3 or 4 things that,
Mhm.
that are sitting around here that they don't need anymore. And he mentioned that we could do an online auction, and that's still okay to put it all in.
Typically with my surplus property, you know, when we sold the Crown Vic, I put it on Gov Deals. And it's an online based auction. There's no fee for the city. The buyer pays a buyer's premium that covers the fees for Gov Deals.
I say that we try that later, you know.
What was it
later in the
before?
month.
Was it municipal or highway?
What?
Patrol. Before we got it.
All I know is it came from Department of Defense. It was some secret squirrel stuff. They don't tell me much. They said it was a K9 vehicle. Here you go.
Do we need to have a motion to keep the vehicle, or?
You just need to tell me.
It requires a motion to sell it.
Yeah, you guys just tell me that you want to keep it.
Well,
I'll keep
okay.
Also,
Continue.
July 9th, Matt Sutcliffe sponsored a pub crawl for Shop with a Hero program. I believe it brought in $1,200. We'll also be having a Hatchets with a Hero for Shop with a Cop or Shop with a Hero program on July 19th, sponsored by Raging Axes. On July 15th, Captain Ron's will be hosting Aquapalooza. We expect a very large crowd and we'll be working close with other agencies to try to make the event as safe as possible.
There were some complaints that people didn't know about the bear bottom thing.
So that wasn't our event. It's not an event we put on. It was an event Bear Bottoms put on to promote the Shop with a Hero. Matt said the next one he's going to do this fall, he's going to do a lot better on getting his information so we can put that information out there. The day before, we didn't even know if it was still happening.
And to be clear, this is not a city-sponsored event.
It's not a city-sponsored event. It was Matt
Everything the
Sutcliffe.
city has done is authorize you to wear uniforms on city for that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Public Works Water System Report, who's up?
That'd be me. As of right now, we had 50 of the MSUs that we used when we got a truck around to read meters. We went from 50 down, we're down to only 8. The only reason why those haven't gone any further is because we can't get any MSUs. According to
Sensors?
Corn Main, that's it,
Justin.
thank you. They're waiting on some again. I got 2 boxes ordered, there's 27 per box. It also gives us time to expand out. As of right now, we got the pipe down at Kahlua Bay and Maui cleared out. We're gonna try and fix that intersection. The people that live back there want to asphalt it at their cost. So that should handle a lot of the water problems down there and be able to take away any more responsibility as far as hard maintenance with rock. Anybody that lives on Deer Valley, I am aware of the pothole situation over there, and that will be corrected this week. That's all I have.
Do we need any more information about the water or any of that? I see that you have work logs in here, so thank you very much.
I did have a forgiveness.
Yeah,
Oh, the
forgiveness,
thing.
yeah.
What is that? I don't know if you guys got a copy of that or not.
yeah, it was laid out in front of everybody.
Right here, so.
Yeah. In Hawk Lake, Mr. William Holtz is asking for forgiveness of, where is it?
At the bottom.
$688. Apparently, it was on his end, it was not our meters or anything, and he claims there was nothing wrong with his piping. So, I mean, my question was, well, what if he comes to us next month and says?
It only gets one time,
Yeah,
forgiveness.
so I mean, if he didn't check, if the person he hired didn't check the right way,
Well, now it's not doing it.
Consistent with a running toilet or a dripping faucet.
They could have fixed toilets and stopped it.
yeah. Do we want to, make a motion to?
Just so that
Give
you
him
know,
one
we
forgiveness.
were checking that meter regularly, almost daily for 2 weeks. And it didn't jump, there was no big force into it. So
Was that after this?
that was after this. We went there daily checking that
Okay.
meter on a regular basis. And it wasn't spinning anymore. So that was after he had his guy turn around and look into something.
Okay, and he's
Just
well
to let
aware
you
that
guys
it's a
know.
So
one-time
the
thing.
individual had somebody,
An expert.
an expert look at
And it's,
what he's responsible for.
yes,
There are ordinances, for those of you who haven't been on the board that long, allows a customer who has this type of leak on their side of the meter to request that their bill be adjusted down to their monthly average bill because of a water leak or some unusual circumstance. It's not a fault-based determination. It's his fault. It's not the city's fault. He's asking for forgiveness under our ordinance. And he's entitled to one if that's what he wants.
And there was none, before he bought the property, there was no forgiveness ever, or with him owning it, they have not had any other problems. So I make a motion, we forgive the $688.
This is one by the debt.
this is
One time.
a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, economic development, we've got on here annexation plan of intent. I'm not sure we're ready to discuss that in detail. That's a big
There's a big job.
project.
Well, the discussion would be who's going to do the big project.
Yeah. Well, I have done nothing on it yet, so.
I gave you the draft that we used in our last
Yes.
municipally initiated annexation.
Mhm,
So you kind of have an outline of what we were looking at then and the different categories we addressed.
yes.
But I think that it's something that maybe you want to send to the planning commission, because one of the things you would want to know when you're considering it, and the property owners will want to know, is what's your zoning going to be? Well, that recommendation should come from the planning commission. You probably also, as I mentioned to Susan at least, consider, getting some input from the engineering team on how they would go about laying out lines in there to provide service, and kind of what the steps and time frame would be to get that actually implemented. Beyond that, I don't know that there's a whole lot of other input that needs to be done, but zoning is really important.
Well, are you saying, when you're saying go to planning, you're talking about Camden County?
No, your plan.
Ours.
Our plan, our plan, but
Commission.
And if you hire a
because it
city
should be
planner, that would
planned,
be something that they could help with.
we should be, or they should be commercial along 5 already.
Okay, here's the
No.
thing. That's county zoning under their ordinance. As soon as you annex them into town, unless you zone them contemporaneously with the annexation, they are unzoned property in your limits.
Got it.
That's why every voluntary annexation we've done, it says right in there, it goes to the planning commission, they make the recommendation, and when the ordinance of annexation says, and we're zoning it this. You don't want unzoned property. strange things can happen real quick.
Right. Well, and the plan of intent is really important on any of this municipal annexation, because we have to tell them what we're gonna provide and when we're gonna provide it. And this project could end up being anywhere from 3 to 6 years to have it completely finished. So, I mean, we don't wanna jump the gun on anything, we really wanna study it as far
Well, you
as,
wanna make sure it's a good deal for the village.
For the
as well
village.
as for the people.
as well
annexed.
as, yeah.
Because, just our typical turn time on a water or sewer project's about 3 years. It just takes that.
So that will be tabled.
Well, to make a decision on who's gonna do that work, unless you're just gonna table it.
Well, we're gonna table it for the time being because we are looking at a planner. So I think that'd be a great first job for that person. I mean, that's what I think, so. Other thoughts?
I'm with you.
Listen,
Yeah, I will say it needs to be, I mean, we're talking about making an amendment or an adoption, then we should have all our bases covered as far as zoning.
The public hearing will go really poorly if you
Right,
don't.
exactly.
So, at least tonight, I think we should table it.
agreed.
And engineering report, he is not here.
Right, he didn't have any updates. He is just waiting to hear from DNR to see when we can start our phase 3 project, so we're just waiting on a start date. That's really the only update he has, we're just,
So there's a good chance he might be at our August meeting to tell us.
We
that
hope so,
phase 3
yep.
is
that's
ready
what
to
we're
go.
hoping for.
Okay, good.
They have a projected time closure once it's started,
Yeah, typically it's in the contract,
12 months, 18 months.
100,
No, this is not a big project.
yeah,
I would imagine they'll be done before the snow flies.
I think in the
I think
contract
he
it's
said
300
late
days.
fall.
yeah, I was
He'd be
thinking
finished.
like,
300 days.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking
They'll have
260
more
or
time,
something.
but that'll be for cleanup and stuff like that.
Be within a year.
Sometimes
Okay.
it's even 160 days.
Good. Okay, on to planning and zoning. We have 2 people who would like to join as committee members on our planning and zoning. If you'd like to stand up, Sharon, and
Yes,
I'm sorry, I'll butcher your last name.
it's all right, I'm used to it. It's Hostetler.
Hosteller, okay?
Step-
And she lives in Hawk Lake, would like to join the planning and zoning committee. And Michael George. So, I'd like to, I guess, is this the appointment is a vote or not?
You just have to
Just
make it,
appointed.
yeah, you just have to make a motion that you'd like to appoint
I'd
them.
like a motion to appoint them to the planning and zoning committee.
I second.
All in favor?
I
And if you want to hang around until after our meeting, Jenny can swear you in and you can attend the first meeting in August. Thank you.
Thanks for your.
Thanks for stepping
Thank you,
up.
guys.
Also, cell tower. Have you all had a chance to look at the verbiage on the cell tower? You were here for the meeting. Did you get a chance to look at it? We, just need to say whether or not we think the verbiage is okay. It's gotta go to a public hearing in August. So if we're satisfied with the way it's written, we can push that on to the public hearing. Unless you have any questions for Greg about it. We had a little bit of a discussion in planning and zoning, talking about how, the zoning code pretty much came from Camden. And it fits us, I think. So if you read through it at all, you can put a cell tower on any zoning property, but it still has to meet the criteria. We still have height regulations and, obviously there can be some special code changes that we can do, but we needed to have an ordinance for cell towers, so it will go in front of the public in August.
Became very clear when we had a software application that our current code simply is silent and very difficult. So this is, I would view as enabling legislation more than restrictive. Because right now, I'm not sure there's any property in the city that we could put a cell tower on.
Make a motion to approve the verbiage.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, let's move on to accounts payable.
We have $9,679 in unpaid bills. I make a motion to pay our bills. I did have one question.
I got one.
Okay. Go ahead, Steve. You got a question?
We've got two separate bills for fire department.
Yeah, so one comes out of our water and sewer fund and one comes out of general.
And it's for fuel.
Fuel. Yes, fuel. That's why there's two
Yeah,
separate.
there's a fuel tank over there.
Right.
Fuel tank to be shared.
I thought I had that, I wanted to make sure I was
Yeah,
correct in my.
How much is the LOE bill normally?
around that,
Is it?
unless we have repairs that need to be made that month.
Do we do the repairs or does LOE?
No, they do them. Yep, they make sure that we're in compliance.
How is their contract written? Is it hourly? Is it set upon so much per month?
It's hourly. I'd have to pull the contract to actually read all the specifics, but
How much is the bill?
$7,400. You're saying that's
I think they
consistent?
have to check it daily, I think is our current.
yes, there's daily. They have to pump out sludge
Daily.
on a regular
Don't they do
maintenance.
water samples daily?
Yes.
Now, that will end up.
I think what he's trying to clarify is this is a lot higher. Was
No,
there a plant repair made,
because there's
something that
No,
elevated
no,
that?
I
I'm
could-
saying it's just consistent.
I mean, it's usually around that amount. I mean, I can definitely pull the invoice and show you the detailed invoice. It's a 2-page invoice that,
I'll tell you what,
Maps
I'll
out.
come in and I'll read their contract.
okay.
Okay.
And then I can show you the invoices too of what,
It's really too
The
high.
DNR regulations require that each of your treatment plants be checked daily.
And they're just making us we're not improving anything, we're just compliant.
That is for someone to show up there who knows what they're doing with the license.
and they hold our licenses.
Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion to repair bills of $9,679.
Second?
all in favor.
Aye.
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 Painful.
Court docket.
Oh, Debbie didn't set it up. Can you grab that?
We have, I believe, one
One more
more
court.
court date here. That would be in July.
And after that, we won't get for it.
You get second to last one to look at. We'll have to remember to put that out. Find her out before the meeting.
Yeah, we typically, Debbie usually does. I just forgot.
Some, no, the previous page. The judge will sign it, and then it'll be signed down below, but just shows that we had an opportunity to review.
we only have one more time, then we don't have to worry about it.
There we go. Don't forget the next one.
Yeah, some of the just comes over and does
Who's been doing that? In case anyone didn't notice, we are filming our board meeting with our new camera, and it will be on YouTube and on our website with a link. So anyone who cannot attend the meetings can now watch them on YouTube.
Until we get the website finished,
Until
I'll
the
post the
website
links
finished.
onto our PD page.
Correct.
I think Greg Gordon knows them all.
What?
The usual suspects.
checking to see if your name's on it.
Mm-hmm.
Put your pen in. Don't put pens close to me.
You got about 5 of them.
I know. I got about 20 in my car.
You wait on me.
Yeah,
Yes.
you over, take it home and read it.
We have a city ordinance for financial responsibility.
Proof of insurance.
Well, I know what it is, but I
We do
don't
have,
have an ordinance for that.
absolutely.
Isn't that a state of Missouri thing?
There's one at the state also, we have a city ordinance.
We have an ordinance for no valid license.
Absolutely.
Where does the city get the authority to implement laws over a driver's license? The state can do that. It's a state issued driver's license.
Sure. And we can have an ordinance that requires you to have a valid license in order to drive on streets within the municipality. It is when you violate it, both a municipal ordinance violation and a state law violation.
Okay, next item is ordinance codification on the website. We reached out to a couple different companies to get bids on codifying our ordinances, which means they attach them to a Missouri statute in some way, put on our website. And this company, American Legal Publishing Corporation, was the least expensive, and the grand total with the online code is $5,090 for them to start work on it. Now, we're not putting ordinances back to 1950 on there. We're gonna go back, I don't know what is typical, maybe 10 years or 5 years? I mean,
Some of your ordinances from the 1950s need to be on your website.
do they?
Yes.
So who
Are
determines?
they still enforceable?
Absolutely.
Then they need to be on the website.
Okay, well, that covers, this price covers 200 pages. So hopefully our ordinances don't go over that.
When you start getting into your water and sewer ordinances, that's where you're gonna have most of your pages, because DNR requires a lot of verbiage in there. As far as your, like your, traffic code and stuff like that, that's not that many pages.
Well, I don't know how else we're gonna know exactly what the final cost is gonna be, other than them looking into how many ordinances we have. I don't know, do they send someone out? Do you know that answer to that?
Well, Jimmy has the ordinance book, and it's not huge.
So we
Frankly,
could
I think-
basically count.
There's
the
3
pages.
binders.
Yeah, you could scan and post PDFs of those.
Yeah.
This company requires us to scan them and send them a flash
Oh,
drive.
there you go. Okay. Well, the reason I bring that up is because I think we should have a motion to approve at least up to the 5,090 that they're claiming.
I have a question.
Okay.
There's a difference between like scanning your ordinances in a PDF format and posting them on your website, because they each have their number and their year and all that stuff on it. And then the other thing is to do what's called a codification,
Mhm.
where they're then put in like a numerical code system.
Yes.
And that's a lot of work. That's going to be pretty expensive, and I do not think it lends you value.
Aren't the ordinances already numbered and?
So you think just
Right,
scanning them ourselves and having them put on
Put them up on your website.
rather than having them attached to the Missouri statute?
They don't.
They don't
the
attach them.
statute. I'm not sure what.
I don't understand that part at all.
That makes no sense to me at all.
They codify them to mirror as if you were looking up statutes,
That's-
like he was saying,
that's
that
what I meant.
gives them the
Okay.
numbers.
You could scan them all into PDF and have searchable PDFs.
Yes.
That's very basic.
Rather than paying these people to put them on.
You don't have the kind of ordinance mass that I would think would justify that kind of service. And what I'm saying to you is, I do not see the value to your citizens of spending $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 to get the ordinances you have now codified. I don't think it's there. I
That's a
think if
fair
we had
point. I mean-
simply a list of them posted in PDF on your website, anybody who really wants them can look them up.
As long as that was one of the things when I ran, I wanted the ordinances out there so people could read them, print them off in real time. PDFs will do that, we don't need.
Okay.
I mean, we'd scan a
I'm good with
binder,
that.
stick it in that sucker right there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm good with that.
Mhm.
I thought you wanted them
Search
like
book.
other people have, like Lynn Creek.
I don't think Lynn Creek has that, maybe they do.
They do have
The
American
the
Public.
municipality I
They
came
use
from in
these
Illinois,
people.
they were scanned and they were just put up in their headings.
All you are doing is making them readily available to the public without coming into City Hall and looking through the ordinance.
That I thought was very cumbersome. To read an ordinance, I had to come in here and read it if I wanted to see it. It should be on the website so that they're readily available for any citizen.
Well, we'll have to discuss then how to index them, because they should be indexed as you would if you were going through the binder.
Right now, the binder has little tabs that.
That's what I mean, we'll just have to index
And you
them
can just-
exactly.
These ordinances are for water and sewer. These ordinances are for
Traffic.
traffic. Thank you.
Okay,
These are for planning zone. These are for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
perfectly
So if
happy
you're
not
looking
to
for an
spend
ordinance
money.
under traffic, and you wanna know what the traffic law
Okay.
is, then you go to the tab, click on that one, then you look down, and say, oh, I want to see one for speeding. There you go.
Okay.
Here's a real simple question. How many times have people come in and asked to look for an ordinance?
Not often.
Usually it's me.
Or
And she
me.
hands
I
me
mean,
the binder.
I have them all scanned on my computer, and sometimes I just call Jenny and she knows where they're at. But, you know.
But if
No,
they're
I'm
readily
good with it.
available on the site, people will, you'll see people look them up. Well, I think more
Mhm.
than, wow, yeah, I gotta drive down there and
You know, they should be
We're,
accessible, but, you know, the idea that you're gonna have them codified and, you know, this is section 1.001, you know, no, we don't need that.
Mhm.
perfect. All,
I think
all
it's-
needs to be said.
if we're gonna spend money to have them put on there, we pay them to do it. They're here anyway.
That's a done deal. that was the end of old business. On new business, I did hand you this, the list of goals and improvements for Sunrise Beach. We made this list, I don't know if we did, but I think we made a list and we kind of passed it around, and I said, if you guys had anything you wanted to add to it, we wanted to we wanted to hire a city planner or a city administrator. We wanted a cost analysis, proposals for attorney. We wanted to move municipal court. We wanted to analyze the staff, job descriptions, salary requirements. We wanted to prepare staff performance reviews for annual reviews, look at extended office hours, additional public works road people, additional equipment for road repair, a shed for public works to store, like we talked about the lean-to that we were supposed to be having. Upgrade the website, we're doing that. Scanning ordinances, review the bylaws, policy, manual, chain of command resolution. Planning and zoning committee members, board of adjustments committee, look into annexation contiguous to city limits, expand and or move the city hall, city park plan, clean, declutter city hall, analyze and revise the budget as needed, plan to enhance new business development plans. Those were goals that we have had set, and we've all been in office just a short time. We hired a public works supervisor, Andy. We are currently interviewing a planning administrator, director. We are interviewing attorneys. We are moving municipal court. I think the last court, of course, is next month, and then by November, it will be in Camdenton. We have a resolution to annex North Highway 5. We have 3 other annexations on the table, which we'll have to discuss one of these days, soon. We're waiting for a contract for land purchase for City Hall. We are in phase 3 of sewer, water lines in progress. We have set up our 4th storm siren installed, right? It's going. New police vehicle has been purchased. We're receiving bids to repair the water tower. We're receiving bids for the roller that the public works needs for roads. Camera was purchased so that we could record board meetings. The website is in progress, and it's pretty well along its way. I mean, I don't know how much time we still have, but we got to get these ordinances scanned, obviously. We're reviewing job descriptions and staff needs. We're writing performance reviews documents so that we can have performance reviews once a year. We have found 2 new planning and zoning committee members. We found 1 person for board of adjustments, and I possibly have a second. We need 5 on a board of adjustments. We have a new resolution for executive decisions, and I've been cleaning and decluttering. The office downstairs, it's got a lot of Roger left in it, so we're trying to clean that up. So I just wanted to point that out. I mean, I appreciate you guys helping, getting this stuff going and trying to make the city better. And last but not least, for new business, I would like to have someone make a motion that we move forward with the economic development administrator / planner position. Because we did not vote on that. We simply had a work session about it, so I'd like to see if I can get a motion to move forward with that, to make an offer.
Make a motion for the offer to the advancement of city planner.
Okay,
I second
okay. All in favor?
it.
Okay. Okay. And now it's time for visitor comments, if anyone has any.
I do.
Okay.
My name is Bob Heeman. I'm on the board of directors for the fire district next door. Where are you at with the tower? There was discussion here before I walked in, so I wasn't privy to what y'all had to say.
Are you talking about the cell tower?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we had to decline the application for the cell tower on the fire department land because the land was not big enough for what they were proposing. We couldn't meet the setbacks, they couldn't meet the setbacks, and we were discussing the height. The height was way higher than any of our ordinances had, which is part of the reason why we are trying to get a cell tower ordinance together right now.
Oh, okay, so whose requirements did that property not meet? The county's?
City.
Ours. So
But you just said there's no ordinance.
we have ordinances on height. On any R1,
Any structure.
C2, any structure we have has a height provision of 50.
Well, it varies by
It
zoning
depends,
district.
depends by the zoning. That tower was like 280 feet, which was way over anything we had in any of our codes.
Okay, well, I was curious because the property is owned by the fire district, right? And
Yes.
it
Well,
is
it's
government,
leased.
it's a
It's
government
leased.
entity.
Please.
Right. Okay, the reason I ask is because, this has gone on for quite a few months, and I've been curious and watching what's been taking place here, and, we have 2,500 citizens that we service in the fire district, probably more than that right now with the tourism. But all that we need is to have one person that probably didn't get the call out that they want for any type of emergency service, and then, if it was that tower that was gonna allow it, that's why our board was very strong on the idea that it couldn't hurt to put a second tower up. It isn't about the second tower, it's about the company and their choice. It's not the district's choice, they came to us. So, as far as public safety goes or concern for our community, all we have to do is help one person with that cell tower, and we've done our jobs, all of us, your board and our board. I can't see where there'd be a problem with it. I know that the FAA and also the other government entities have approved all their permits for that tower. So as far as the federal guidelines go and state guidelines go, to the best of my knowledge, they've been met. So it's just gonna be the city of Sunrise Beach that shuts it down. It isn't going to be us, because, that's why we brought forth and asked them to, give us an idea of what they wanted to do, which we provided to the city here, the contract and all that content of it. So that's why I wanted to come in tonight. I come to pay my water bill today and just happened to grab one of these and noticed that you guys are gonna talk about the cell tower. And this is for the good of all of the community, not just us, but everybody that's in this district or comes in here for tourism or anything. It's a plus, it's not a negative. As far as fall zones or anything else goes, I doubt it's gonna bother anybody. If it hits anything, it's gonna hit our training tower. That would be within 280 feet of the base of that tower. I can see that. So it wipes out our training center. Nobody lives there. Our building next door, half of it's open. It just happens to be the north side. I'd like you guys to move over there. I don't want to see you build any buildings. Personally, my goal is to see you move into the building across the way there. We've got first-class operation and plenty of room. Then you have a place for all your utilities and public works sitting right here. But in the meantime, I'm still concerned about the thing with the cell tower, because it isn't anything other than it's something that we all can do to help our community. The fire district just happens to own a piece of property that tower company or that business wants to use and utilize. So that's really all I have.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna beat a dead horse on this, but I think we should all look at it as what's in the best interest of the community. Because it's for everybody. It's not for any one individual. It's for everybody that may need the help to dial out of the below, Quarter Mill Spring Road or anything down the bottom of the hill down here is pretty hard to get out of.
I don't know
We
anybody that had a cell call drop.
No, and I agree, and believe me, we have a planning and zoning meeting prior to the board meeting, and planning and zoning understood that too. We all want more cell service. but it was simply a matter of the size of the land. The massive tower that they were gonna build exceeded what our setbacks are on any buildings, including the height restriction. So, I mean, we're not saying they can never build a cell tower here, they just couldn't do it on that piece of property, and it had nothing to do with
They
who owns it. Pardon me?
They can't. The company that's proposing the tower can't build on that property.
You can't put a cell tower on a piece of property that size under our zoning ordinance.
Well, I'm not gonna litigate, I mean, that's where you shine and I don't, but at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, this whole issue was all started out was they came to us and, you know, from a fire district's point of view, we provide public service. I mean, we're out there to help people, we're not to do anything less. You call us, you're having a bad day. So, you know, I thought, with a piece of property that sits there and doesn't get any revenue stream out of it at all, at least we could get something from the company that we could use to help the community in a different way. It's not a lot of money, but still $10,000. I mean, we could take a cop shop for 1,000 of that. Bring 2 firefighters, we'll add another couple grand. You know, that's my thought behind this.
That's my concern when I first heard about this, is I was interested in the direction of, if it fell, you would know the direction it would fall. It could hit Highway 5, it could hit a school.
Right.
It could do, I'm only here for safety, and the amount of money the fire department's gonna get off leasing the land is not even equal any safety issue.
Right.
And my concern was, the sales guy said, well, the tower always collapses in. Oh, bullcrap. That's not what always happens to a cell tower. Maybe if they made it a certain way, maybe in somebody's lifetime. But right now, potential is to cross that highway and hit an ambulance or school bus, or to upset the school. Mine's all about safety. Revenue was not enough to even
Were you
think.
on the board when they built this one?
No, sir.
Okay, well, this tower was built after our building was put in. Nobody gave a rip about the
It does
fall
hit
zone
five.
there. And it might not hit Highway 5, but it take out a public building right next door. In truth, I mean, we're just talking honesty here. Now, granted, y'all have a little bit of an edge because it hit the water tower first.
Yeah.
So then the water tower would come down, and then the tower would come down, and then we'd have a flood along with the tower. But at the same time, with the number of fire trucks that go up and down and such, everything but the kids, can't argue the kids, but it's always about the kids. I mean, every argument anybody has, what about the children? But at the same time, you know that it's probably not gonna happen during the day, it would be at night. So, you know, like they say, I think
50-50 on that one.
or less. I mean, I would take Vegas odds that's never gonna happen in my lifetime and put money on it, but there's always that 1 in a million. It's just like the wreck out here in front of the firehouse years ago, if you were all around here. We had a bad wreck out in front of the firehouse. 2 people, 1 person got killed right on the spot, and the other one was never the same again. We paid a lot of money out, but yeah, we had nothing to do with it. Our liability wasn't there because we were part of that chain of over the money. And so, you know, there's gonna be litigation from now until we're gone. But this is something that's for the better of the community and nothing less. That's all I was going for. And that's why we talk about this in our.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
As far as communication benefits, does that encompass the whole city or just the fire department?
What communication are you talking about, sir?
You're talking about putting a tower up for better
It's
communication.
for cellular service for people that have cell phones in their pockets at this meeting. It has nothing to do with fire district at all.
So it's gonna benefit the 911 system for persons calling.
No, sir, the state is responsible for the 911 system along with our E911 tax that we pay, which is part of dispatch for each county.
That I understand.
Right.
What I'm
But the
saying,
Mosswood
the
system-
benefit we're gonna see is more people will have cell service.
That was the thought that we had was yes. So that if they have a reason to call out for emergency services, they might get a signal then, wherever that may be. Even if it is at the high point.
I believe there were other options, they just wanted to do that at that particular land. And as I told the person that I spoke to was, we're denying the use of that piece of property because it's too small. Doesn't say that they can't build one where it meets the criteria, but that piece of property was too small for the massive tower that they wanted to put up.
It ends everything to be built around here because I have looked, there is an agreement made with the conservation department. Greg and I have talked about this just briefly in the past. There's only so many things you can do with the property that the conservation department agreed to when the fire district bought the land.
It was
This
given
was
to the
part-
fire district, it wasn't purchased.
Well, the bottom line is there's some covenants in place that restrict on what gets done with the property that's left.
Correct.
And, that doesn't, it's walkways and places for the public to gather. It doesn't have anything to do with putting gate
You will use it
towers.
for park.
Yeah,
It
I was a
is-
part of
it is restricted for park purposes.
It's restricted?
To the ground behind
Oh,
this and behind the fire district going down over the hills. 20-some acres
You
is
saw the notice.
restricted for
there we go.
conservation.
Couldn't they have hung all of their additional antenna on this tower?
We don't, here's the thing, he's got a long discussion here that would be more appropriately suited for a public hearing on a zoning application. And it's not really for this board, I mean, you can drill down into this and spend all the time you want, but you can't make any decisions about it.
I love his
do
ideas.
respect
I love your ideas, I love your thoughts, your concern. And quite honestly, I ain't gonna do it because my vote's gonna be, it's not safe.
Okay.
Fine.
Any other comments from anybody?
Can I just, a question?
Yeah.
As a possible newbie here, right, is when you get something like that, do we ever go out and look at the site and like pull a tape measure and physically, did you guys already do that, it sounds
There
like?
was plat maps and all that stuff, we didn't actually have to go to the distance as well provided.
Okay.
But yes, that is part of the whole process.
Okay.
And that's part of why you would want a city planner, so you don't have to trace through the woods all the time.
Get ticks.
Get to read reports instead of.
One quick question, I do see that Gerald's missing, is there another seat open on the board?
There is, Gerald resigned.
Is that something that you're gonna put out, to people to where they can come in and put their name in for?
A city resident can fill that seat, and yes, I actually, the reason I have the two new planning and zoning people is because I sent a letter out to every citizen on the voter rolls. We got 2 responses. So I guess I'll find another way to put that word out, but yes, there is a board seat open, and I am able to appoint someone who lives in the city to that seat, and I will be working on that. Any other questions?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second it. Thanks for coming, everybody.